If love is a burning thing that makes a fiery ring, there's no couple that burns brighter than Sharon Needles and Alaska Thunderfuck. These two cutting-edge queens are now traveling the world doing live music shows, but life on the road ain't always so easy.
Booked to perform at Life Ball, Europe's most opulent AIDS fundraiser, Sharon Needles traveled with dozens of rowdy celebrities and attendees by private jet to Austria. When they landed on the red carpet, Sharon stuck her foot in her mouth by reminding Austrians that Hitler was one of them. Is Sharon banned from the country? What really happened? What was she thinking?
Join us today as Alaska and Sharon answer all your questions and open up about their relationship. And with the Supreme Court overturning DOMA, will they finally tie the knot?
Listen as the girls weigh in on racism, slur words, and the Paula Deen scandal.
And who could possibly be on the next season of Drag Race? Find out. I'm Fausto Fernos.
I'm Mark Fillion.
And this is Feast of Fun Tea, Hunty.
Feast of Fun is made possible because of financial support of people like you. Thank you. Upgrade your account today at feastoffun.com/plus and listen to our fabulous podcast 5 days a week.
It's been several months since Alaska Thunderfuck was on RuPaul's Drag Race. Although she didn't win, she will always be a winner in our hearts. Am I doing a good impression? I am thrilled to have the first royal couple of drag, Sharon Needles and Alaska Thunderfuck, in the home studio, who are traveling around the world and the country, performing now together. Welcome back to Feast of Fun, guys.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi. Hi.
That was good. Let's do that tomorrow
We bought
night.
that just for that high.
No wonder you two are broke.
It was only $3.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, girls. You're traveling around the world. You just got back from Vienna.
Travel around the world and got kicked out of Austria.
What happened in Austria? You landed there, you had been partying on an airplane, and you decided to put your big fat foot in your mouth, Sharon.
Well, sure. It's a real treat to be asked to go to Life Ball because if you're from America, what they do is they pile a whole bunch of New York club kids, a whole bunch of D-list celebrities, and
Barbara Eden is not D-list.
Adam Lambert.
You can't even pronounce his name.
Lambert.
Glambert. Yes. Yeah, we did share a plane. And it's a plane of debauchery. You know, if for anyone who's ever flown before, you know, you have to keep your bags under the seat. You have to keep your seatbelt fastened. You know, you have to play by the rules. But the private jet that goes to Life Ball is really different. I mean, there was people smoking weed, people having sex on the floor, people taking off all their clothes.
Sex?
What
kind of sex were they having?
I'm not here to name names
You don't
other
have to
than
name
my
names.
own.
Describe what they were doing.
Set the scene.
Well, I was only told this. I was blackout drunk, so I don't really remember. But my manager told me like people were smoking weed, people were
I
having.
heard that Willem
sex
was
running
asleep and that there was a Canadian porn star sexually assaulting Willem with his dick in his face.
Well, I don't. You know, Willem
Vina.
Willem's a great professional. She popped her 2 Xannies, put on her marabou feather eye mask, and hit the hay. But you know, I was a pretty good girl. You know, I had a couple of drinks. You know, and went to sleep, and I woke up and I had all my press answers pre-written, and
What kind of questions were you planning to address?
Just, you know, how do you feel about being in Austria? What do you feel about Life Ball?
Because you're going to walk a red carpet. You're getting off the plane.
Yeah, for those who don't know, when you go to Life Ball, you take a private jet and it actually lands on the red carpet. You know, it actually lands on the carpet. So when the plane opens, you go directly into your press. And, you know, my makeup was done. My outfit was flawless. And
you did a transcontinental airplane in full drag.
Yeah, everyone looks great getting off a flight.
After 8 hours.
Yeah. What?
Of debauchery. Yeah. No, it was more like a boy look. You know, I was just turning a boy look. 8-inch heels, a Nazi hat and 1960s Amanda Lepore sunglasses. But the first question I was asked was, how do you feel about Austria? And I said, it's from what I see in front of me, it's a beautiful country. It's a shame it's the birthplace of Hitler, terrible person, great tailoring. And then
that's the word. That's the actual quote. That's what
the
you
actual
said.
quote. Yeah.
It wasn't like, I'm glad to be here in the land, like the birthplace of Hitler.
Well, I mean,
That's how it's
anyone who would applaud what Hitler did would, in my opinion, would either have to be pretty punk rock, pretty transgressional, or just a complete fucking ignorant asshole. But I knew I wanted to, I'm Sharon Needles. Not only do I try to be controversial, but I also try to be historical and very knowledgeable. And I don't know how many other faggots on that plane knew that Austria was the birthplace of Hitler, and that's what I wanted to say. What I didn't know is that America has the N word, well, Austria has the H word. And so I made a little boo-boo, and my manager immediately swifted me into a private car. And I was like, well, wow, I get a private car and everyone else has to take a bus into the city? And I thought I was, just getting the royal treatment, not realizing that I was immediately being taken away to be interrogated and deported from Austria.
So did you have German people going, "Was ist es, Sharon Needles?" Like screaming to each other at reaction? Like
they whisked me away to a beautiful suite that Lifeball paid for, and I sat there for 3 days and then flew home with Amanda Lepore. So,
and where was everybody else?
Preparing for the Lifeball, I wasn't allowed to be on the grounds of Lifeball. They cut my number, and people actually sent me pictures of where they took black construction paper and had it wheat pasted over my posters that were framed all over the city. Taking black paper and hiding someone, making it look like they don't exist, and controlling the media and creating propaganda. Looks like they're looks like they have a little something more in common with Hitler than they want to admit.
Whoa.
That's fine. Lifeball can spend over $3 million on decorations instead of actually giving it towards medication for people who actually need it. I'll throw the death ball, and that will be one balloon, me and Amanda Lear.
Alaska, where were you doing all this? You were back home. You were on another gig. You were blacked out.
Did you go to Vienna?
No, I didn't.
She doesn't remember.
Okay. No, I just can't keep track of where I am from day to day these days.
You have a bad memory for that kind of stuff, don't you? Maybe
Yeah, I'm a water sign, so I don't have a good sense of direction, and I'm like, we're in Chicago, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But I really think
That's
it should.
what I know.
I really think it should be pointed out the amount of money that is spent on the Lifeball. And if you do your research, because the second that I'm not allowed into something, I need to immediately hate it. So I started researching it and finding out the companies that sponsor the Lifeball, the people that create, the corn fillers that go into our food, and
so you're saying Monsanto sponsors Lifeball?
Yes, yeah, a lot.
No way.
A lot of these
evil.
major conglomerate companies that really do not care about the medication and spreading the awareness of HIV and AIDS around the world are spilling millions and millions of dollars into this for sheer advertisement reasons. And they created fake ponds and giant sets. And this is money that could go to medications. And what my big question was, I gave you a punk rock history lesson about Hitler being born from Austria, but then they're having $1 million women dress. The theme was 1,000 Arabian Nights. And there were $1 million white women everywhere in burqas going li 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 li.
Are you kidding me? Really?
It's kosher to be appropriating a culture that right now is actually in conflict with white culture. But the second you say Hitler, it was ass backwards.
Well, they have a lot of laws against, saying pro-Hitler kind of things, and I think that they interpreted your thing as a pro-Hitler.
Now, well, you know what? This is my thing. This is my thing. When you go to the GLAAD Awards, because in the drag community, we say tranny all the time.
Sure.
Because it's our word.
The trannies say tranny.
The trannies say tranny. trannies, drag queens say tranny. It's our word. But when you go to the GLAAD Awards, you get an email and a printout saying this is what's expected of you. And though you may feel comfortable with using this type of epitaph or phrasing,
Right.
we would appreciate that you didn't do it here at our event. This was never given to us.
Oh, really? They're like, don't talk about Hitler. Don't talk. See, they didn't
There
tell
was
you
no
about the culture
briefing.
there, because for their point of view is here in America we have free speech as well as they do over there in certain senses.
Do
but,
they?
but you can't go into like a theater here and yell fire, and that's kind of like the equivalent of going to Austria and talking about praising Hitler is basically saying fire in a theater. Because I'll tell you what, those crazy motherfuckers over there, they're ready to rise up and do that kind of shit again. So it's just if I
was praising Hitler, I would understand that, but
Right.
that I never did that.
So I'm glad that you finally got that cleared up. Because
And
I
you know
feel
me,
that-
I would only tell you boys. You're the first. You're the only. You're
So
the
you're not
only
a
press
fascist.
outlet I've ever told.
So maybe I'll
No, I'm a
ask
fashionista.
what Matt Lauer asked Paula Dean is like, do you regret saying what you did?
I'm sorry.
Do you regret saying what you said on the red carpet?
Absolutely
that
not,
it got you
because
into trouble?
I'm an intelligent person who grew up in a world full of hate projected right towards me. So I've used it, and I use that. I am rubber, you are glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. I take the hate from the world and I turn it into transgressive art. What Paula Dean is just unfortunately ignorant and unaware of what she's saying can be hurtful. I'm very aware of the shit that I say can be hurtful, but I use it in a very artistic, meticulous way, and I know why I'm saying the things I'm saying. Do I think that cunning trumps ignorance? I'm not sure, but I think Paula Dean is hilarious, and I think she's perfect for the snatch game now, because now there's another layer.
The bevy of material right there.
What do you think her
girl.
answer would be to any question on Snatch Game?
RuPaul, I didn't even know you were standing there till you smiled.
Water off a bat's back. Huh? Speaking of your rival, your frenemy, Jinx Monsoon, you guys are like best friends, Alaska, right?
Yeah, I really love Jinx, and we've bonded. Really
I thought I'd be the
And
only
Sharon-
ugly girl that ever win.
You're beautiful.
And Sharon, you get throw a lot of shade.